السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله، صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today Monday the 26th of the month of Sha'ban 1441, and this matches the 20th of April 2020. And inshallah, today's topic is going to be about fasting. Inshallah, maybe today and tomorrow it will be about fasting, inshallah ta'ala. Fasting, inshallah, I think most of you have already have an idea. Inshallah, most of you have an idea that fasting will start on Friday, more than likely this coming Friday, the 24th of April. Inshallah ta'ala. This is more than likely, depends on moon sighting, as you know, but this is more likely what's going to happen, inshallah ta'ala. So the Taraweeh, which this year we will be praying at home, it will start Thursday night, inshallah ta'ala. Thursday night on the 23rd, Thursday the 23rd of April, inshallah. Regarding fasting, inshallah, fasting is one of the pillars of al-Islam, ruknun min arkan al-Islam. It is also a faridah, an obligation, something that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a must upon us. It is compulsory to fast. And it is ma'lumun min ad-din bil-darura. It is well known from the religion by necessity. This word is important. This phrase, ma'lumun min ad-din bil-darura, is important for us to know. It means that it is known from the religion by necessity. What do they mean? It's known from the religion by necessity. There are things within the religion that everybody knows. The young and old, the new Muslims and the ones who were born into Islam, all of them know this. That, for instance, Salah is a must. That Allah made Salah to be 5 daily prayers. Everybody knows that from the Muslims. Even the non-Muslims know about that. So things that are known from the religion by necessity is something that is common knowledge that most Muslims know about, or almost all Muslims know about it, right? It is known from the religion by necessity that adultery is haram in Islam, it is prohibited in Islam. Khamr, drinking intoxicating drinks, is haram in Islam, and the likes of that. All of this is known from the religion by necessity. Yani every Muslim knows that. The one who doesn't know it, yani it means maybe he is someone who is totally new to Islam, or someone who is born Muslim, but he's far away from Islam. Nobody taught him anything. He doesn't know about Islam except Salah, afwan, except the name Muslim, the title Muslim. Otherwise, everybody should know this. Those things are not the same like other things that are also compulsory, but you find many people, maybe they don't know that, or they do it but they don't know the ruling of it. They are doing it but they don't know if it's a must, if it's a pillar, if it's, they don't know. But there are things that everybody knows. Those are the things that are known from the religion by necessity. The obligation of fasting is proven by the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran, and by the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also by the unanimous agreement of the Muslim scholars. The obligation of fasting, it was made an obligation يعني fasting of the month of Ramadan in the second year of Al-Hijrah, the second year of Al-Hijrah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he fasted alayhi salatu wasalam nine months, 9 Ramadans. He fasted alayhi salatu wasalam 9 Ramadans. Before that, fasting was not an obligation, before the obligation of the month of Ramadan, except the day of Ashura. The day of Ashura, Rasulullah SAW commanded the people to fast it. Then, after the obligation of fasting during the month of Ramadan, the fasting of Ashura, the obligation of it, that is, it was abrogated, it was cancelled, and it became only recommended. It became only recommended. Also, in the beginning of the fasting, it was made an obligation. Either you fast, and if you don't want to fast, you can feed a needy person. That's how it was made an obligation in the beginning. Then, even that was abrogated and cancelled. And if you are able to fast, and if you are from those who must fast, then you must fast. You cannot feed a needy person and break the fast. This no longer is there for those who are able. It remained, though, the ruling remained for those who are, as you know, the details will come. Those who cannot fast, and they cannot fast continuously, those are the ones who, instead of fasting, they will feed a needy person for every day they miss. And there are details. There are others that have details, like the pregnant and the breastfeeding women. But other than that, those who are able, they must fast. And I should note here that those who claim that um, you do not have to fast, just instead of fasting, feed a needy person, they are to be, يعني, if there are any, there are some people who are still, يعني, they live in the 20th century, but they are so ignorant. Allah al-Musta'an, يعني. And this is the complex type of ignorance. The complex type of ignorance. Those who think they know, but they know things other than what they really are. It's more problematic than the ones who have simple ignorance. Simple ignorance is just you don't know. You don't know. You have no knowledge. So you do not know about something. So even if you are asked, you say, "Oh, I don't know." But then the complex ignorance, al-jahl al-murakkab, is when you know things other than what they really are. Like those who rush to, "Oh, you don't have to fast. You can feed a needy person instead." Well, if you are able to fast, there is no room for this. You must fast. You cannot feed a needy person. This is for other people. And they are told that. And if they continue to deny that one must fast, and that fasting is an obligation, then يعني والعياذ بالله, after knowledge has come to them, they are outside from al-Islam. والعياذ بالله. Now, how is it established that the month of Ramadan comes in? The month of Ramadan is established by one of two things. The first one is by seeing the crescent, al-hilal, seeing the crescent of the month. So if it was seen, then we know that the month is in. So usually on the 29th of the month, they will go out to sight the new moon after Maghrib. If they saw the new moon, then the month of Sha'ban is finished. And now the new crescent, this one is for the month of Ramadan. So tomorrow would be the first of Ramadan, then, if they saw the new moon this night after Maghrib. Like we are expecting this Thursday. This Thursday is the 29th of Ramadan. 29th of Ramadan. So this is what we believe to be correct according to the sighting. I know others, they might say no, Thursday is actually the 30th of Sha'ban, right? But I'm saying we are taking the position that this Thursday is the 29th of Sha'ban. So they will go out and they will look for the moon. They see the new moon, the crescent. So after they see it, then tomorrow, Friday, will be the first of the month. What happens if they don't see it? If they don't see it, then we will wait. Maybe it will be seen in other places. If it was seen in any other place and we got the information in due time, then we will fast the next day. If nobody sees it, then we say tomorrow then will be the 30th of the month, and the day after will be the first. And this is the second way. الثاني إكمال عدة شعبان 30 يوم. So either we see the new moon of Ramadan on the 29th of Sha'ban. So if we saw it, then tomorrow, today is the last day of Sha'ban, then 29th of Sha'ban. Tomorrow is the first day of Ramadan. If we did not see it on the 29th of Sha'ban, then we will judge that today is the 29th of Sha'ban. Tomorrow is going to be the 30th of Sha'ban. The following day will be the first of the month of Ramadan. So this is how we are going to tell if the new month started or not. What about the timing of fasting? You fast from what time to what time? You start fasting from the emergence of dawn. And this is the emergence of the dawn, which we call the true dawn, Al-Fajr al-Sadiq. Al-Fajr al-Sadiq. Or they might call it also Al-Fajr al-Thani, the second dawn, the second Fajr. Why? True and second. How is that? Because we have false Fajr, false dawn. Al-Fajr al-Kadhib. This is how it is mentioned in the Sunnah. Fajr al-Kadhib, what is that? This is, how at night time it is dark. Then suddenly you see a shiny light that is vertical light. Mustatil, mustatil, mustatil with a lam. Mim, sin, ta, ta, ya, lam. مستطيل. مستطيل من الطول يعني length, long. So you find it vertical, and you have, then it becomes dark again, after that you have a light that shows up on the horizon, and this one is mustatir, mustatir with a ra, right? So this one is this one is in the horizontal, in the horizon. It is horizontal, you see it in the horizon. يعني it's not like a shiny light in like that, but rather it is the light that spreads on the horizon horizontally. This is what is called al-fajr al-thani, the second dawn, or al-fajr al-sadiq, the true fajr. So you have the first one, which is still nighttime, that is called either the false dawn, al-fajr al-kadhib, or it is called al-fajr al-awwal, the first dawn. The second one is called al-fajr al-thani, the second dawn, or al-fajr al-sadiq, the true dawn. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had two people who made adhan, Bilal radiallahu anh and Ibn Maktoum radiallahu anh. So Bilal will do the adhan first. As you know, for Fajr we have a first adhan and a second adhan. First adhan is done before the timing of Fajr to wake the people up. The second adhan is done right on time. is done right on time. So Bilal radiallahu anhu used to call the first adhan. And Rasulullah sallallahu told the people, do not let the first adhan of Bilal, do not let the adhan of Bilal stop you from your food and drink, from eating and drinking, right? So, because still there is time. When Ibn Maktoum, who usually will not call the adhan, he was a blind person, radiallahu anhu. So he wouldn't call adhan until they tell him asbahta asbahta, yani you have come into the morning, you have come into the morning, yani dawn has come in. So he makes the adhan. So that time when Bilal calls the adhan, the first adhan, which is before the time, you can eat and drink, and you cannot pray fajr. You cannot pray fajr yet. Even the sunnah of fajr, you cannot pray it yet. But when Ibn Maktoum calls the adhan, which is at the right time, when really dawn has come in, that is the time when the food becomes not allowed anymore. And the time of Salatul Fajr has truly come in, where you can pray the Sunnah, then you can pray the Fard after that. So that is the timing. That is the beginning of it, Al Bidayah, from the true dawn, and goes on, fasting goes on, continues up until sunset, up until Al Ghurub, sunset, Ghurub al Shams, the sunset. It is a must to intend to fast. It is a must, and it is also a condition for the validity of fasting, that you must intend to fast the month of Ramadan, to fast with your heart. Intention is in the heart, in any part of the night, any part of the parts of the night, even if it be one moment before dawn. So it is a must to intend to fast tomorrow at night time. At night time. And inshallah, more will come about this, but this is now important. And inshallah, intention has to be there at night time before you fast the next day. We're talking about the fard fasting, fasting that is a must, like Ramadan now. If Friday was the first of Ramadan, Thursday night, Thursday night, we must intend to fast Friday. Right? Thursday night, we must intend any time after sunset of Thursday up until dawn, before dawn, we have to intend to fast. And intention to fast is not like what is written on many of the calendars. وبصوم غد نويت. And you don't have to say anything with your words. With just the intention in the heart. And يعني the action itself يعني is enough. So you were not praying Taraweeh and then on Thursday night, hey, tomorrow Ramadan, let's pray Taraweeh. That's intention. You wake me up before dawn so I can have my suhoor, my pre-dawn meal. That is an established intention. Any يعني if it crosses your mind that tomorrow is fasting and you want to fast, then intention has been fulfilled. It is not. It does not have to be words that you are going to say. And actually, you should not say any words, not for Ramadan and not for any other ibadah, including, for instance, Salah. Many people, before they pray, they stop and they say, I intend to pray Salatul Dhuhr for rak'at, حاضر, on time, يعني, not qada, adaan, right? And if they are making it up, they would say qada'an, right? I'm making it up like this. So I have mentioned this many times before, but then I know there are new attendees. Yani these are the blessings of the ayah of the virus that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent, that we have new attendees with us. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So you do not need to mention your intention by words, right? And this question, one of our visiting scholars said that when you are saying this intention out loud, يعني I intend to pray Salat al-Dhuhr 4 ركعات, يعني doing it on time, and or making up or details, who are you saying this intention for? Are you, والعياذ بالله, يعني of course the believer doesn't think like that. It's just people do it, they don't think about it, and they are taught since childhood to do that, right? And sometimes they are taught by people who are knowledgeable people or are deemed to be knowledgeable people. Who are you saying these words? Of course, these words you are not saying to tell Allah. جل الله عن ذلك, يعني Allah is high above this, يعني Allah knows everything, so you do not need to say this. Of course it's not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then who is it for? Are you telling yourself that? Are you telling yourself by words, I intend to pray Salat al-Dhuhr? That Sheikh, visiting scholar, he said, if you started talking to yourself, then there is an issue there, right? And especially when you are doing it for Fajr, you're doing it for Dhuhr, you're doing it for Asr, you're doing it for Maghrib. Like, where is this coming from? And unfortunately, yani some, they have misinterpreted, as Al Imam Ibn Qayyim mentioned, they have misinterpreted a statement by one of our noble, worthy Imam, rahimahullah, that Salah, you don't enter it except with dhikr. He meant you don't enter it except with Allahu Akbar. That's the dhikr. But they interpret it to mean this intention, right? And there isn't anything that tells us and bring any source that says, yani from Quran or Hadith, that, or even the early scholars, the four Imams, even the early scholars, it's not known from this. Something that came later on, much later on, that you need to utter, you need to say, pronounce your intention, say it with words on your tongue. There isn't such a thing in Islam. Some might confuse that with labbaik Allahumma umratan, labbaik Allahumma hajjan, and some scholars did say that you say your intention. Yani here, saying your intention here, this is actually from the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not actually mentioning your yani intention as an act of worship. You are assigning the type of nusuk, the rite of Hajj or Umrah that you are doing, or Hajj and Umrah both, or Umrah only, right? And this is part of, this is like when you say labbaik Allahumma umratan, this is like you say Allahu Akbar for the Salah. Very similar to that. Because for instance, you want to pray in the masjid, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to go back to our masajid and remove this calamity from us, and grant us al-afwa wal-afiya wal-mu'afa fi dunya wal-akhirah. Ameen. You are going to the masjid to pray dhuhr. You made wudu and you got ready, and you are asked, what's going on? Where are you going? You say, oh, I'm going to pray dhuhr. Right? So the intention is there. And you reach the masjid and you pray the sunnah and you sit. You wouldn't be starting Salatul Dhuhr until you say Allahu Akbar. So you intend Dhuhr within yourself and you say Allahu Akbar. That's when you begin. All of that before, you had the intention. But now, this is the intention that comes together with the action, and you say Allahu Akbar. When you say Allahu Akbar, that's when you started the Salah. Likewise for Hajj and Umrah, people plan for Hajj sometimes for many years. They are planning for Hajj, and they, يعني, collecting the dollars and cents. Hajj becomes a must upon you whenever you are able to do it, physically and financially. Some people physically they're okay, but financially they're not. They're collecting dollars and cents until they are able to make it. Some Muslims, unfortunately, they are wealthy. They are wealthy, but then they procrastinate. They delay and delay and delay the Hajj. Some of them think, even they see someone who went for Hajj when he was young, they will say, "You are still young. Why are you going now? You have to wait until you, yani, subhanallah, old and senile, and you have a cane, or you need help. Someone is pushing you. Someone is, you have to lean on somebody. Subhanallah al-Azim. Whenever you are financially able, that's when it becomes a must upon immediately that you should do the Hajj according to the stronger position of the scholars. So many people they plan for Hajj so many years, they are intending that, but they do not enter into the ibadah up until they say labbaik Allahumma hajjan, whether they are doing it in the airplane or they are doing it in the way from Medina to Mecca, at the miqat, and so on and so forth. So labbaik Allahumma hajjan is not really you are pronouncing your intention as a form of ibadah. It is يعني not, it's the takbir, like the takbir in the salah. That's what you say to start your Hajj. And even if you say no, that is the pronunciation of the intention for the Umrah and Hajj, then we say, okay, it has come in the Umrah and the Hajj, and it hasn't come regarding fasting, it hasn't come regarding the prayer, right? And when you are going to give the zakat now, for those who say, yeah, we can do analogy, by analogy, we use it for fasting, we use it for prayer. Are you doing it for zakat now? When before you give the zakat, you say, I intend to give this $1,000 as a zakat for the. Are you going to say that? Definitely, you don't need to say that. And lastly, I did mention this joke before many times. The Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, he mentioned it, that it was in the Haram in Mecca. And it was just from the normal, the layman, the general folks. He was praying there. And next to him, there was one person who is in this habit. So he said, I intend to pray such and such salah, to do it يعني right in its right time, and 4 rak'at, and and then he was about to say Allah Akbar. So that man next to him was just from the general folks, but he knew that this is not right. He said, wait. So he told him, what? He said, you forgot the date and the time. You forgot the date and the time. Of course, there is no need to mention all of this. Yeah, you intended this in your heart, you say Allah Akbar, and you go on. And unfortunately, if you have this problem, and you have the waswas, the evil whispering from the self and the shaitan also. If the self, you are very shaky and doubtful about everything you do, like the ones I mentioned to you yesterday about immersing himself in water and then did the water reach or not. Same thing with this. And I have seen in the masjid also. They will go and away to this, and then now starts all over again. Nawaitu, the Imam already said Allahu Akbar and started Al Fatiha, and he is still busy with his intention. Nawaitu, Nawaitu. Right? And what if you say Nawaitu an usalli dhuhr, arba rakat, and then actually you are praying Asr. But within your heart, you already intended Asr. But with your words, you said Dhuhr. What does it? Of course, those people who have a lot of doubts, they will start all over. But actually, if you intended Asr, but you made a mistake with the tongue, what counts is what is in your heart. not what you said on your tongue. What counts is what is in the intention that is in your heart, not what you said on your tongue. So that is the case. طيب. من فضائل رمضان, from the excellences of Ramadan, I'll go through these quickly, that it is the month of the Quran, شهر Ramadan, the month in which the Quran has descended, as we know in the Quran. In it, the doors and the gates of paradise are opened, and the gates of the fire are closed, as in the authentic hadith. تصفد الشياطين, the chains are, or the Satans are chained. The Satans are chained. And in it is the night in which the Quran was revealed, and that is Laylatul Qadr, which is better than 1,000 months. The ibadah, the act of worship that is done during that night is better than that same ibadah done in 1,000 months. So imagine how great that night is and how great the month in which that night is in. Also, the one who fasts Ramadan out of Iman and out of Ihtisab, as in the famous agreed upon hadith by Bukhari and Muslim, that the one who fasts Ramadan out of believing in it and out of seeking the reward from Allah, ihtisab. So you believe that Allah made it compulsory, that Allah made it a must upon you to fast, that Allah legislated fasting in that time, and you are doing it seeking the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal. The hadith says that your past sins are forgiven. Your past sins are forgiven. Also, performing a umrah during the month of Ramadan, performing the umrah during the month of Ramadan is equal to performing a hajjah. And not only any hajjah, a pilgrimage done in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. And this shows you the blessed, or how blessed the time of Ramadan is, the month of Ramadan is. The Umrah is the reward of a Umrah. But then if you do it in Ramadan, the reward of it goes into the reward of Hajj. Of course, is not gonna cancel the obligation of Hajj. I have this issue many times happening. We say Qul huwallahu ahad. If you recite it, it's worth one third of the Quran. So they understand, oh, you don't have to recite the Quran. Just recite Qul huwallahu ahad 3 times, then you don't have to. That's not the meaning here. The meaning here is that you know how rewarding reciting the whole Quran is. If you recite Qul huwallahu ahad 3 times, you will get that reward. It does not suffice you from reciting the Quran. You should recite the Quran, right? And if you pray in the Salah, right, you must, for instance, recite Surah Al-Fatiha in every rak'ah. So don't recite Qul huwallahu ahad and then you say, oh, I got one third of the Quran, or recite it 3 times. You say, يعني not only the Fatiha, I recited the whole Quran. That's يعني, of course, I don't have to يعني, mention this, but I was faced by some people who are just, they don't think right. Same thing with the Umrah here. If you haven't performed Hajj before, doing Umrah in Ramadan will not cancel the obligation of Hajj, but it gives you the reward, same great reward as the reward of Hajj. And this shows that the general principle that the scholars said, that during the blessed times you expect more reward for actions. Now, in Ramadan, there are narrations which are weak, which says, like for instance, the nafila, the voluntary prayer or the voluntary deed, has the reward of a farida, obligation. And the reward of a farida, obligation, becomes multiplied by such and such. Those narrations are not authentic, unfortunately, but there is no doubt that the blessed times, they have more value in them. So the good deeds done in them, they have more value. Sometimes we have a specific reward that is mentioned in the Sunnah, like Umrah in Ramadan equals to Hajj with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And sometimes we don't have, but we know that it has more value. On the other end, also, والعياذ billah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save us from that, doing sins and disobediences, falling into haram, in those blessed times, it has more problems in it. Has more problems and more, يعني يعني doing a sin in a time that is blessed, when you are supposed to do good deeds, is not like the normal times. Is not like the normal times. Seasons of blessings, they are not treated the same as any other day, just any other normal day. So when those seasons come, those blessed times come, we should be on heightened alert in order to maximize the benefit by doing good deeds and shying away to our utmost best, although we should shy away from sins all year round. But then there are timings when we should be more cautious. Also, from the blessings of Ramadan, that those who are those who deserve to enter the fire, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save them and will set them free. Utaqa, he will set them free from the fire. And in the authentic hadith, that every day we have people who will be set free from the fire. Also, on a daily basis, every Muslim, he has a dua. يعني every Muslim who is fasting, he has an answerable dua every day. Those Muslims during the month of Ramadan, they have an answerable dua on a daily basis. Da'watul Sa'im, it's answerable. The dua of the fasting person is answerable while he is fasting. We have a narration while, when he is fasting, Da'watul Sa'im. And we have a narration also at the time of him breaking the fast. He has an answerable dua. So we should make use of this time, because Ramadan then is a month of dua. Ramadan then is a month of dua. So we should seize that opportunity. And one of the blessings of Ramadan is that it is an opportunity that we should take advantage of. We should not just let it pass just like any other month. And Rasulullah SAW said about the person who Ramadan comes in and then Allah does not forgive him, then he's in a state of failure, because the month of Ramadan is a season where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives. He sets free the people from the fire. He rewards for the actions abundantly, and a lot of blessings throughout the month, aside from the fasting, the qiyam, night prayer, the dua that is answered, Laylatul Qadr, the night of decree. So many opportunities that are open there on a daily basis, even. So this month comes in and goes out, it leaves, and Allah did not forgive you. If you are not forgiven in this time, when can you be forgiven? When is it expected? And this is the time where the expectations are the most. Expectations are so high, so high. And if the time when the expectations are so high is gone and elapsed and Allah did not forgive you, then when is that going to be? So this is the case with the fasting. I will stop here for today. If you noticed, I left the يعني you can comment, you can ask questions, and we will leave it open even afterwards, so that if you have, as one brother suggested, although I generally run away from from the questions, and I try to answer the questions that come, I try to answer them during the lecture, right? So to save time and to cover the materials the most. But then sometimes there remain some questions. So write what you want of the questions, and I will look at them, inshallah, and we'll try to answer بإذن. Another thing is that this Thursday, it is expected that Friday is the first day of Ramadan. So this Thursday, inshallah, starting Thursday, I'm suggesting to you, and this is what I think we should do, and maybe you can write comments suggesting that we should have our talk every day at 7. Right now, Maghrib, starting يعني maybe 8:11, 8:12, it's going to go more, 8:15, 8:20, 8:25. So I think if we start at 7, for half hour, 45 minutes, we can continue even in the month of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala, with those reminders. As doing it later than that is not going to be suitable, because we have iftar, pray maghrib and iftar, and then time of Isha comes and we pray Isha, and we're supposed to pray Isha and then Taraweeh all together with the family this year, inshallah ta'ala. So, يعني it's not going to be suitable to have the lecture later, except we say after Isha and this and Taraweeh, and it's going to be late, like we're talking 11:15, 11:30, or so, يعني around that time. So يعني I would suggest that we do it at 7 inshallah ta'ala, starting this Thursday. Another thing, as some have asked me as to why I'm saying more than likely it's going to be Thursday. The fact is that يعني this Thursday inshallah ta'ala, 23rd of April, it is being said that the new moon will be born. Um, the new moon will be born 2:26 GMT, which is 5:26 Mecca time. This is Thursday. This is when the new moon will be born, right? And it is expected, scientifically speaking, that it is possible to sight the crescent. It is possible to sight the crescent in a large area in the two Americas, North and South America. It is possible, quite possible, to sight the new moon with the naked eye. It is possible to sight the new moon with the naked eye. And also, it is said, those are the scientists that are saying that it can be seen also in Africa, but using the technical, the observatories, and using um, the instruments, right? So, based on this information, it is highly likely, more than likely, that the moon will be sighted Thursday. So, and that's for us the 29th of Shaban. I know some already a day before. So for them, Thursday is the 30th. So those people overseas who started Shaban a day ahead of us, Thursday for them is the 30th. Thursday for them is the 30th. So Friday has to be the first, no doubt. For us, Thursday the 29th, and it is very highly likely that it will be cited according to the available information to us, and therefore, more than likely, Friday is going to be the first. And it is expected now, since I told you about the beginning, I tell you about the end, although we don't know if people are going to go back to work or not. But more than likely, Eid will be on Sunday, the 24th of May. Eid, more than likely, will be Sunday, the 24th of May. Once again, I remind you that this all is based on moon sighting, and it is okay to use this scientific information beforehand and to benefit from it for the expectations, as I'm telling you now, so that people maybe could plan ahead, right? So that is the case. So Thursday night, more than likely, is the night that you will start praying Taraweeh. So if you need to prepare, do something, some things are missing, you need to get you something or whatever, prepare yourself for that. Then Thursday night is the first night of Taraweeh. Friday more than likely will be the first day of fasting. Allah knows best. Jazakumullah khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I will see you tomorrow, inshallah, same time around 9 o'clock. And as I said, starting Thursday, it's going to be around 7 that we will have our lecture. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.